Welcome back to Storytime with Grace. This is about 17-year-old me going to see her boyfriend at the time, now my ex-boyfriend, Marine graduation from boot camp. Yay! I would say this experience is traumatic, but I feel like that's too much. That's too big. Serious of a word to use in this situation. If there was a step below traumatic, I would use that word, but I don't really know how else to describe it besides that. But this trip, I live in Iowa. We had to fly all the way to California to where this stupid military base is. So I get on a plane. Mind you, this is my third time on a plane. I literally had flown on a plane to go to Costa Rica a year before this in high school. First time I've ever been on a plane. So this is my third time ever being on a plane. And I fly with his family. My family, they just let me go by myself. My family, it's like, go on, Grace. And I'm like, perfect, yay. I've been waiting 3 months to see him. We've been writing letters, like, whatever. It was not that hard. Actually, I'll be honest. At first, for the first month of not being with him, I was like going through it because we were attached at the hip. We dated from I was 15, end of sophomore year of high school, and then this is the beginning of my senior year, and I'm 17. So we've been dating for a while. But then eventually I was like, if he's gonna be in the military, he's gonna be gone for a lot longer than 3 months. I need to suck this up and just lock in. And 3 months is not that long. We were all surviving just fine. Like, I did not understand. His mother, on the other hand, thought 3 months was a lifetime. So we fly to California, and if you've never been to a military graduation, or at least a Marine graduation, you go and you sit on these, there's lots of big bleachers, and then you face, and it's like this big concrete area, like literally just concrete. And the day before is family day, where you can go and visit your Marine, but you can't leave the base. They're not fully like graduated and free to go yet. So they show you around for a couple hours, and then you leave, come back the next day for the graduation. So we come back the next day for the graduation in the morning, and we sit at these bleachers, wait for them to come out. Then they do this like whole annoying ceremony that takes far much longer than it should. If you know me, you know I'm a military hater. I don't think the military is good, but I could elaborate on that, but that's a story for another time. We're there, they're doing all this stuff, and then they come out and they're like uniforms. And like the family day, they also do kind of like this thing where they're like in these ugly green outfits and these hideous shorts, like, and they're like marching and running and whatever, and I don't know. So then they march and they pivot and they run. Like, why? You're all bald, like, get out of here. I don't care to see you do this. Sorry. Sorry, I don't. So then they're about to like release us to go get them, because you get like, they tell you to go to your Marine, and then you can run and hug your Marine and whatever. You have to like find them in this crowd of people though, but they release you. His mother is sobbing, jumping vigorously up and down, like she cannot contain herself to go and see him. Mind you, she hasn't seen him for 3 months, and he's been writing letters. They have communicated throughout this whole time. If my parents didn't see me for 3 months, they would not act like that. His mother is like sobbing. No one else is acting like this. Sobbing up, jumping up and down, crying, like just freaking out. I don't know how to say it other than freaking out. His dad has to like hold her back, be like, it's okay, it's okay. Like holding this woman back. She about like ran to him before they even said that we could. And of course she was the first to go to him, sprints towards him, finds him, hugs him, is like crying. Like, she doesn't be like, hey Grace, do you want to have the first hug because you're his girlfriend, and I'm a child, 17 years old, a child. No, I was the last person to hug him. His mom do not care, because if that was me, my parents would say to my boyfriend, do you want to go hug her first? Like, you can go ahead and hug her first. The last to hug him after everybody else, his mom, his dad, his sister, his other sister, and his grandparents. Like, I was a lot, and he's just like moping over to me. He was not happy to see me, and there's a reason for that, and that is a story for another time. I suffered on this trip. His mom did yell at me in the line of Universal while we were waiting for a ride, but that's a story for another day. Mind you, I spent this whole entire vacation a week with them because the graduation wasn't until the end of the week. I spent this whole entire time with them without seeing my boyfriend. Yeah. And he says I never even loved him. Anyways, we are leaving. My rage got to that. We're leaving. We're like standing outside. I don't know what we're waiting for, like someone to get the car or something. I don't know. But we're standing there. It's like me, his little sister who's like 9, his dad, his mom, him, right? She like, I don't know what prompted her to do this, but she's like saying, we're like talking, and something was said, or she said something, I don't know, prompts her to kiss him on the neck. Kiss him. Like right in here, like in a spot that like his girlfriend should kiss him and no one else should kiss him. Like, goes in there. Has your mom ever kissed you on the neck? Would my mom ever kiss me on the neck? No. Mind you, this is her grown man baby child. Her grown 19-year-old child. Can you tell he's the only boy? Can you tell that? This is him on the neck. I said, get me out of here. Get me out of here. Get me out of here right now. I want my mommy. I want to go home. I'm scarred for life, traumatized. And on top of that, he didn't even see anything wrong with it. He did not see anything wrong with the fact that his mom kissed him on the neck. He didn't think it was weird. So that tells you literally anything of why we are not together anymore. That would be it. And he also never liked to listen to me. Can you believe that? He told me he would probably never get deployed. Guess where he is right now? And he better not see this because he'll yell at me for it and try to text me. But oh wait, he won't see this because he's deployed. Loser.
Around 16 years ago, I was almost sex trafficked inside of a Walmart. Let's talk about it. It's crazy because when I think about it or tell this story, it truly feels like I am a little 7, 8-year-old kid again, back in Walmart. I was obsessed with makeup from the time that I knew what it was. And so when we would go to Walmart, my mom would go shopping and she would let me hang out in the makeup aisles, and then she'd come get me when she was done shopping. That was just kind of like what we would do. That's why I went to the store with her. The world was a lot better of a place than it is now. It starts with me down one of the makeup aisles, and for some reason at a young age, I already wanted to just be alone. And there was a couple down that aisle. So I was like, let me just go to the other makeup aisle. Cause you know, Walmart has like 2 or 3 makeup aisles. So I switched back to the other one. They came over like a few minutes later. And I was like, okay, like, let me go back. It was weird. I started to feel like every time I switched aisles, they switched too. A young kid, so I'm like, oh, I'm probably just like making this up, I don't know. So I decided to go to like the deodorant aisle. Sure enough, they show up. I go to the medicine aisle, a few more aisles away. They show up. I'm like, okay, maybe it's still just a coincidence. I'm like, let me go all the way down to like the dog food aisle because it's still in the same section. They're just different aisles. I was like, if I go to the dog, you know, that's not a coincidence if they show up. They showed up. I'm like, okay, I'm being followed. I'm scared. I don't know where my mom is. I don't have a phone, like any of that. And I'm really scared. So I leave that area and I go over to the middle of Walmart where they have, you know, they have the jewelry on one section, and then the other side is where they keep the purses and scarves, things like that. So I'm on the one side where the jewelry is kept, just kind of like looking around, sort of looking for my mom. Also, I don't even know, panicking. Sure enough, The girl shows up. She's on the phone. I'm like, okay. So I go on the opposite side where the purses are, and the guy's there. And he's on the phone. And my heart completely just sunk in that moment because clearly they were on the phone with each other. Clearly they wanted something to do with me. Like, at this point, there was no chance of it being a coincidence or anything like that. They were following me. Like, point blank period. I literally went to like 8 different places to make sure. I really start to freak out, and I'm like, I need to find my mom. I know she's grocery shopping. So I walk out. Registers are all kind of right where I was, so I walk out there. Thankfully, I see my mom. I walk up to her, and I try to explain what's going on, and she literally is like, they have secret shoppers here. Like, they probably just maybe think you're stealing. You know, she's just basically telling me that I'm crazy. And I'm like, no. And so then we start to check out, and I point them out because they're literally over by the clothes, turned, pointing at me, like watching me. And she immediately, like, her heart drops, and she realizes in that moment that I am not pretending, that they are, like, that they wanted something to do with me that was not good. She still kicks herself to this day for, like, not going up to them or doing anything. But I just am so grateful I didn't walk outside of that store, because if I had walked out alone, I think I would have been gone, truly. Like, I 99.9% believe that to my core. And it's just so insane to think, like, it's the Walmart that I still go to. And it's really scary. Like, the world is truly such a scary place. And that was, what, like 14 years ago? Like, that was a while ago. It was a lot safer. Now the world's so much scarier that I can't even imagine. Obviously, I mean, now you don't let your kids do things like that. But yeah, scary story. I was almost sex trafficked in Walmart.
Hey guys, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a lore drop on my breakup from about a week ago and some of the things he said about me during and after the relationship that I find quite funny. Some context, we dated a month, talked for about a month, didn't do anything. Very chill vibe in this relationship, okay? Keep that in mind. Alright, so basically my ex-boyfriend had this friend that I work with. It's kind of complicated, but this girl didn't tell me any of these things because they're like twin. Oh my god, that was a terrible way of explaining it. Okay. Essentially, he described them as best friends, and they talked all the time. She was second on his best friends list. They would call. They actually did hang out when we were dating. So, yeah, they're pretty close. But so I can understand why she wouldn't tell me these things, but let's just go ahead and get into the things that apparently he said about me. Okay, starting off strong, he said I had a bad diet, and that made me non-wifey material. So I guess my McDonald's obsession, my Cece's pizza addiction, and my Brahms fetish aren't gonna work for him. Funny thing is, he's not. You guys know those wine rolls that you can get at the store that come in like packs of like 6 or 8, and they're like really, really freaking good? Yeah. Until I see about like 9 of those actually laid across his abdomen, I want to hear absolutely zilch about my eating habits. Like, I'm confused. Like, did he expect me to go to a restaurant with him and be like, hi, can I please get a Caesar salad? Yeah, you know, me, just skinny. Lay back on the proteins, please. Like, salad. Heavy on the lettuce. I don't know, actually, what he expected. Interesting. The next thing he said was that I'm also not wifey material because I don't go to the gym. So I actually dance for 3 hours a day, but you're so right. Oh my god, why don't I go to the gym? Why don't I lift weights? Why don't I get my cardio up? Like, what am I doing? Oh my god, I'm fat. Just like to add on to this whole like wifey material thing, I'm 17. We're trying to find a wife right now. You know, there's a lot of people that are like date to marry, but I hate to break it to y'all out there. You're not gonna find a wife at 17. Okay, we're still growing and maturing. Thank you. This honestly might be my favorite thing right now. This is my greatest comedy. So you know how on Instagram you can like post a note and like make it a song? So he has like some really weird fetish with doing that, but he does it daily without fail, and it's a new song every single day. And I know when he's posting these songs, he's like, oh yeah, this is gonna get her. Oh, these lyrics. And guys, these lyrics are like, bro, you're a hoe. oh my god, you're a bop. Go back to where you came from. Like, just the most outlandish things. The most outlandish things. And I know they're directed towards me. It's so obvious because, like, he never did this stuff when we were dating. He's only doing it now. And they're just, like, the weirdest songs. Like, Creepin' was one of them. It was like, cause you're freaking him when you were red pen. Go with your other hosts. I was like, what? It got me thinking about what song I wanted to post next. I'm gonna be the bigger person, so I'm not gonna post. But this is the song I would post if I could, okay? I'm gonna play it for you guys. No, yeah. Hear it out, hear it out. Here we go. I don't bleep with you. Alexa, stop. Yeah, y'all get the point. I would totally post that song if I could, but it's just, like, not appropriate. It's not appropriate, but I would. All right, now we're going to talk about things he did during the relationship that I thought were very interesting. Y'all can let me know what you think. Okay, so I had my location on for about 100 people, and when I tell you this man crashed out in the car with me. He was like, why do you have your location on for people other than me? Like, my location's only on for you and my best friend. Like, what's even the point of us having our location on for each other if you're gonna have your location on for other people besides me? I kid you not, this was my reaction. I was like, are you joking? Like, you can't be serious right now. Like, I laughed. I laughed at this boy because, huh? What are you saying? So later, he turns his location off on Snapchat. And me, I was like, hey, buddy, why'd you turn your location off? And he was like, well, since you want to have your location off for other people, I turned my location off. So what do? I turn my location off because I'm just going to match his little petty energy right there. I ain't putting up with this anymore. I can't put up with this anymore. I've lost patience at this point. There's so much more to this, but, like, there's so much more to this relationship, but, like, I don't want to spread, like, too much information. Yeah, so I just turned my location off. So, yeah, that's all you got to do. I mean, if they're going to play that way, you play that way back. Okay, so one night I was driving around with a couple of my friends, and I get a call from him, and he's like, hey, where are you? I was like, I'm out, like, with my friends, like I already told you. This boy says, hey, I'm outside. I'm waiting for you. Come on, like, I'm waiting for you. I was like, wait, I'm sorry. Like, I'm with my friends right now. You're outside my house. He was like, yeah, I'm ready to hang out. 11 p.m. at night. It's 11 p.m. at night. I was like, go home. I'm not coming back. Go home. Starts a whole thing. I mean, bro, God forbid a girl hang out with her friends. Actually, a couple of days before we broke up, I was like, hey, do you want to go volunteer with me and my best friend on Wednesday or something? And he was like, I wanted to hang out that day. That was the only day I was free. I was like, okay, well, I need volunteer hours for NHS, so I have to volunteer. Do you want to come with? And he's like, volunteering sounds like a lot of work, so no, but, like, I wanted to hang out. Like, this is really frustrating that, like, I'm not a priority. Just some bullshit like that. I was like, what? Like, at this point, y'all don't understand, like, I got fed up. Like, it just kept building up. It was just something new every day, and that was just, like, my breaking point. Like, you will not go volunteer with me and just feed my starving children. Literally, you just put food in a bag. It's not that hard. He was like, my brain's just tired. My brain's just tired. Your brain's tired from what? From what? From what? Sitting on the bench in basketball? Also, he wouldn't ask me to be his girlfriend, because I didn't tick all his boxes. Yeah, that's right, guys. He had mental boxes. He told me his boxes, and so, yeah. A big box that I didn't check off was complimenting him enough. Yep, never did it. Sorry. He wrote me a 5-page document about how I needed to be better. Yep, should have broke up with him right then and there. Like, guys, I'm talking about, like, font size 12, Times New Roman, indents, bolding, freaking, what do you call those things? Freaking dots? Oh my god, that's not the name. What is the name, guys? Come on. What's the name, bro? Bullet points, paragraphs. I was like, this can't be real. This has got to be ChatGPT. I plugged this into a ChatGPT checker. 0% AI. This might have been 6 or 7 pages. I'm talking 6 or 7, maybe not even 5. Like, it was insane. It was insane. All right, here's a nice little fun story for you guys. One time we were in the car, and he was like, I feel like I look like a chipmunk. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna call you Chip. Because I'm, like, a total troll. Like, I'm an absolute troll. Like, sorry, that's just who I am. Like, I'm gonna call you Chip or no. Or I was like, oh, I'm gonna call you Chipster. And when I tell you, he went straight down like this, bent over, grabbed his knees, and would not talk for 5 minutes. I'm speaking the truth. I'd never seen anything like it. I was like, this is AI. This is Sora. This can't be right. Yeah, no, I got the ick so bad. I was like, I actually took a video of it. Yeah, I have a video of it, so if he wants to keep lying on my name, all jokes, but still, like, for the next girl, please save her the time and don't do that. Last thing I have time to talk about is his spam account on Instagram. So he has a spam account on Instagram, super feminine, yeah, whatever. So when we broke up, I obviously unfollowed him because I was like, I don't care to see your spam photos. He privated the account. And I knew he did because one of my friends tried to send me one of his posts that he posted, a day after. So obviously, as the fresh ex-girlfriend I am, I'm like, let me see the post. So I check out the post. Caption starts off great. It's locked in. Okay, what are you locked in on? Because it's not me, and it's not a sport, and I mean, clearly it's not Jesus based on the way you act. My thought process, like, knowing him, I bet you he was like, bro, like, now that I've privated my account, like, she totally lost access to me. Like, she's totally upset right now because she doesn't know what I'm doing. Baby, I unfollowed it because I don't care. It's just embarrassing at this point for him. One of his friends commented, like, you're up, bro. We dated a month. I don't even, like, think it was a relationship. We literally we acted like friends. Like, when I tell y'all this was more of a friendship, I mean it. Like, why? How is this dragged? How is this dragged to a perspective where it's like we've been dating 2 years? I don't understand. Oh, whoa. Yeah, I have like 10 seconds left, so there's not really much I can squeeze in anymore. There's probably more I could talk about, but that's all I have time for. Bye.
I need to share a PSA to anyone that lives in Charlotte, North Carolina, but really just anyone that lives anywhere, because I experienced something traumatic yesterday that could happen to anyone and should never happen to anyone. But long story short, and it probably won't be short, I'll probably give you every detail. Yesterday afternoon, I ran to the South Park Mall to do a return at H&M. When I was there, I obviously like looked around a little bit, grabbed a couple things to try on. I was there for maybe 5-10 minutes. Wasn't really paying attention to my surroundings, which is uncharacteristic of me. Usually I'm like hyper aware of people around me. Like, I'm always sketched out. I always feel like I'm being followed. So I'm like very vigilant. Yesterday I wasn't. I was in a rush. I was like in my own head. So I'm in the changing room and fully unclothed, and I look up and there's a phone and a hand leaning over the stall into my changing room, very clearly recording me. So I freaked out. I like yelled, what the and, you know, turn around really quick to like throw my clothes on. Obviously they scramble and leave. I didn't know this. Like, I didn't see a person. I just saw a hand and a phone. So I run out to the dressing room attendant to tell them what happened. She comes with me. She opens up the like curtain on the stall next to me. Obviously no one was in there. They had already left. So she's like asking me my statement, asking me what I saw, what the person looked like, if they were male, if they were female. I'm like, I saw a phone. Like, I couldn't even describe to you the hand. It happened so fast. It didn't have like painted nails, and it was Caucasian from what I could see very quickly. I don't remember even the color of the phone case. Like, that's how fast this all happened. I actually think I like blacked out. I was so terrified and disturbed. So she you know, is asking me what I could remember, what I saw, and I was like, did anyone leave before me? Like, within the last minute, did anyone exit the fitting room? And she, I could tell, didn't want to like scare me or mislead me, but she was like, yes, a man did just walk out right before you. So she runs to go call security and like see if she could see the person. I didn't even ask what they looked like. I was just so scared because I'm looking around me at this like very crowded mall and knowing that it could be any single person in the room. It could be male, female, like literally
I don't know what possesses people. There's creeps out there, but like, it could be anyone just in plain sight looking like your average person. So I didn't trust anyone. I didn't know if I could trust the fitting room attendant. I didn't know if I could trust this, like, there was like a mom in there with her daughter. Like, I don't know, crazier things have happened. It could have been her. Like, I didn't want to talk to anyone. But security came, they took my statement, they walked me to my car, and they were like very empathetic, but I don't feel like enough was done. So I wanted to share the word to all the girls out there to be safe, and I hope you never experience anything like this, because it really was traumatizing and like very emotional for me. I am going to follow up with a police report now, just in case like anything else ever happens. Like, the more information that they could have, the better. But I hope they find this person. I have no idea what their intentions were. My mind is going to crazy places. Like, if I didn't notice, what if they followed me out? Like, I can't even think about like what could have happened. But malls are a scary place, so be vigilant.
Oh my god, I need to collect myself for a second. I almost just had a heart attack. Put an air tag on your kid's backpack, please. Please put an air tag on your kid's backpack. I don't care if they're verbal or non-verbal, disabled, not disabled, autistic, not autistic. Please, if they take the bus, put an air tag on your kid's backpack. Because I have an air tag on my son's backpack. He's in TK. He's gonna turn 5 in a few days. And he takes the bus that picks him up at our house, and then it drops him off at daycare with his brother, his baby brother, and the bus usually drops him off at 1:50, and she texted me and was like, the bus isn't here yet. So I looked at his location, and he wasn't far. He was a few blocks away. So I was like, okay, well, maybe it was just running late. And I told her it should be there in a few minutes. And then even like 30 minutes passes. And then just now at like 2:35, she texts me again. It's like, the bus isn't there. So I check his location, and he's even further, almost in Oakland, all the way up Claremont Ave. And so I'm like, what is going on? And I called BUSD Transportation, and they tell me, it scared me so much. They told me that they didn't put him on the bus, that he was never on the bus. Oh my god. And so I'm on hold, and I told her, what do you mean they didn't put him on the bus? Where's my son then? And I was like, I'm looking at him on his air tag, and it says he's on Claremont. And she's like, well, it says he's on Claremont. Like, hold on. And she puts me on hold for like 5 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm freaking out. And I'm at work, and I'm like about to have a fucking heart attack. Because my son is autistic, and he wouldn't know what to do. And so she finally takes me off hold, and she's like, okay, so they put him on the wrong bus. And we're gonna drop him off at daycare. He'll be there shortly. But oh my god, imagine if I didn't have that air tag. Do you know how many buses there are? Like, just in one elementary school? Like, oh my god. Oh. if I didn't have that air tag on him, I swear to God, I wouldn't know what to do. Oh my God. And I think they only knew that he had been put on a different bus because they probably have trackers on their own buses. And when I told him that I can see his tracker and see that he's on Claremont and Ashby, they were able to put two and two together. But imagine if I didn't have that air tag on him. Oh my God. That was the scariest freaking... I think I'm gonna get him one of those little like phones for elementary aged kids at this point, because that was just beyond terrifying. Gosh. And like, mind you, while I was on hold, I like ran down to my car and I'm on the phone still on hold, because like I'm not that far away from where his AirTag was saying he was. But like, as a parent, your mind goes to the worst. Like, what if, like, I don't know, what if some random person came up and was like, hey, like, my mom told you, or like, your mom told me to come get you, like, what if he was like kidnapped, like... And it's so scary that like it sucks that we have to like think that way, but God.
Hi, my name is Katie. I'm 38 years old. I have 2 young children, and yesterday I was diagnosed with colon cancer. So let's talk about it. I had been having some abnormal stool. I don't know what Tik Tok's gonna let me say, but some blood. And you know, after you have children, sometimes like you have hemorrhoids or you can have a fissure. And so I just thought maybe it was something like that, because the ironic thing about this is I worked in GI for 10 years. And so I almost felt like I knew more than maybe just the average person that hasn't worked in GI. I had no other symptoms. Blood count was normal. All my labs were normal, but I started to notice, and the blood was bright red. So bright red blood normally means it's like coming closer to the exit. If you have black in your stool, that it normally means that that's older blood. So maybe the bleeding is coming from higher up. Painless, like it was not painful, but I started to kind of notice that it was like wrapped in it. So I was like, something's not right about that. So in August, I called to make a consult with GI. A month later, I was able to get in, and they were like, let's do labs, let's do an EGD colon. And that was September 24th. And there was one date in November and another date in December. And I wanted an early procedure time, so I picked December 2nd. The other thing about when I went for my consult, I don't have a family history of colon cancer. Both of my parents do have the precancerous colon polyps. So there's different polyps that can form in your colon. Some are the hyperplastic, which is just normal benign tissue. There's no, like, they're not cancerous, they're not precancerous. So if you have hyperplastic polyps in your colon during a colonoscopy, normally you'll get a 7 to 10 year recall. And then there's different types of adenoma polyps. So like tubular adenoma, and the name of those, and those are considered precancer. So there's tubular adenoma, there's serrated adenoma, there's tubulovillous adenoma, there's villus, there's with like high-grade dysplasia, and the name of them, it comes from the shape kind of the polyp, like the stalk of the polyp. And those are precancerous, but once they are removed, the risk of them changing into or growing into cancer is no longer there. But you would have a sooner repeat colonoscopy to check to make sure that no more polyps like that have grown. Polyps are slow growing, they can take years to grow. So my parents had, you know, the precancerous polyps, but they also waited well beyond 50 years old to get their first colonoscopy. So I didn't have like a family history of colon cancer. I did have a family history of like the precancerous colon polyps. The nurse practitioner that saw me wasn't concerned about needing to get in sooner, because she's like, I really, just based on your symptoms, I just really don't think that it's anything like super serious. I had also gone about 4 years prior because of some issue to the same place, and again, they were like, it could just be a fissure or hemorrhoid, and we don't really think that it's like, we can't say for sure that it's not serious. But so there wasn't any concern even from the medical team. And so I go in for the EGD and colonoscopy, and as I'm coming out of, like, being wheeled back to the room, coming out of the sedation, I heard something about a tattoo. And I knew that that probably meant that there was something that they found, because whether that be like a big polyp or something, because sometimes when the gastroenterologist goes in, and if they see something that is like a large polyp or an area of concern that they want to maybe like come back to and check out, they will ink that area so they can go back, or if a surgeon needs to go in and look. So the doctor comes in, and he is like telling me that he dilated my esophagus a little bit, that there were some polyps found, smaller ones that they removed, but then he said there was a really large mass, like a tumory mass that was like, that they found. It was 3 centimeters, which is large in colon polyp terms. I think like 5 millimeters. If it's over 5 millimeters, if I can remember, that is considered large, and mine was 3 centimeters. So that thing had to be in there for a long time, probably 4 years ago when I went in for the first time. It was probably there. I don't know if it was cancerous yet. And when he told me, the doctor, I said, is it cancer? And he said, I think it is. And I just looked up at the ceiling and I said, fuck. And he said, I said the same thing when I saw it. So the next thing I know, like, so they took biopsies. He wasn't able to remove it because it was so large, and that's not something that he would be able to remove. They got me in for a same-day CT scan. CT scan returned all clear except for that 3 centimeter mass. And again, they checked my blood count in a CEA lab, all normal. But I got the call yesterday at 10:55 in the morning as I was driving my 4-year-old to his first therapy appointment. And I was told that the mass did confirm invasive adenocarcinoma. So the next step is getting a pelvic MRI to further evaluate that specific mass and tumor. I have to meet with a surgeon, oncology, and radiology. I called the place where I asked GI to send the referral for the MRI, and I was told they hadn't received the referral yet. So I called GI back, and they said, your insurance needs a prior authorization for an MRI. And I said, I don't give a shit about my insurance. I'm going to pay for this out of pocket if I need to. I just want the referral sent so I can move forward with like the care plan. And they were like, well, we need a prior authorization. I'm like, but I have to have this either way. It doesn't matter if insurance is not going to cover it. I'm still going to go forward with an MRI. And the lady was like, well, we did an urgent referral. I said, but that means nothing to me. I don't know how long it's going to take. And she's like, and we certainly don't know how long WPS is going to take. And I said, clearly. So now I'm waiting for insurance to approve this urgent prior authorization so I can move forward with getting the next steps done. And I just thought maybe I would document my journey now, because I'm young for colon cancer. You know, screening used to be at age 50, then they bumped it back to 45, and now sometimes it's 40 depending upon things. My children will need to start having screening colonoscopies at the age of 25, because if they have a parent that gets diagnosed with colon cancer, you start 10 years prior to that diagnosis. If I just am asking if anybody's watching this and watched the full thing for prayers, positive energy, and if you have any tips or tricks to send them my way. I could use all the positivity and healing energy because I really do believe in the power of prayer and positive energy.
I can't sleep, so I have decided to tell y'all a crazy story about how I got involved with a married man, but I didn't know he was married, so story time. All right, before I get into the story, I want no judgment from any of y'all, right? Because once again, I did not know that he was married. Okay, so I work at a job that I don't have the same amount of hours, so my paycheck is never the same, right? So on days or weeks when I know that my paycheck is going to be short, I go and do Uber Eats. Why? Because it is expensive to live these days, okay? Literally, I walk outside, I breathe, I spend like $500. Like, what do you mean, bro? So I was doing Uber Eats one day, and I got an order to go to Irving, right? But it was like a $15 order, and the thing said it was only 12 miles. Whenever I do it, if the miles and the dollar amount kind of match, I say, whatever, right? It's not like I'm going to go home. Am I going to go home and watch TV? Like, no, right? So I am going to Irving. I show up at this fancy ass hotel. Like, I was like, I just realized that I told y'all that I went to Irving and then I showed up at a fancy ass hotel. So I have probably said too much, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So I show up to this hotel, right? And a valet guy approaches me. Well, I thought he was a valet guy, right? But the thing is that he wasn't wearing a polo like the other valet guys. He was wearing like a blazer, right? He was tall. He was handsome. You know, he wore glasses. I'm a sucker for guys in glasses. I don't know what it is, bro. I really don't. So he makes a joke about me checking in, and I'm wearing dirty scrubs, bro. Like, I had gotten off of work. My scrubs were dirty. I looked rough. Like, the only things that I had going for me is because I just got my eyelashes done that morning, and then I had just gotten my hair retouched like a week before or something. So, you know, I looked good, but I could have looked better, you know? Anyways, he makes this joke. I'm like, no, I'm here to drop this off. And he was just like, can I ask you a question? If you're doing Uber Eats, what's with the scrubs, right? And I was like, excuse me, rude. Anyways, I start talking about what I do for work. He starts asking me more questions. After he's done interrogating me, basically, he starts complimenting my hair, my eyelashes, my smile. He asks me what I am. I tell him I'm Mexican. And he's just like, ooh, I love Latinas. And I'm like, I stood outside and talked to this man for 15 minutes. At the end of the conversation, he asked me for my number, and I said yes, because one, I'm single, two, like I said, he wasn't bad looking. And so I talked to this man every day for like a week and a half, but I go to Puerto Rico 2 days later after I meet this man, right? I come back from Puerto Rico and I make plans to see him the next night, right? But the thing is that he had been acting weird the whole week. He had stopped replying to me at like 10 p.m. I know what you're thinking. Because I too thought the same thing. But the thing is that I was hoping that he had maybe like a crazy baby mama and not a whole wife at home. So sometimes I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, you know? And anyways, I meet him at the hotel because he says he's working late. So I show up to the hotel. A valet guy takes my keys. So I'm just kind of like, am I going to get them back? And he's just like, you'll get them back when, like, you leave. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess that's how that works, right? We go to a bar that's kind of like across the street from the hotel. We're having drinks, we're flirting, we're talking. He's asking me about my trip. I'm showing him pictures. He's talking about how beautiful I am, blah, 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 blah. I bring up the fact that he's been acting weird, right? He apologizes and he's just like, he said something like, it has nothing to do with you. I just have a lot going on right now. Sir, a wife is not a lot going on right now. But, okay, so I then say something like, what's up with you not replying after 10 p.m.? And he just kind of was like staring at me. Like, he didn't say anything, but he was just staring at me. So finally, I make a joke, because at this point I'm uncomfortable because he's just staring at me. So I make a joke saying, don't tell me you got a wife at home. At that point, he looks away and he doesn't look back at me. And I was just like, oh my God, you're married. We're in a bar. I need y'all to remember we're in a bar. And people heard me. They were like, I say it a second time, oh my God, you're married. And at that point, I'm standing up to leave. And then I remember, I don't have my keys. It was a long night, so if y'all want the rest of this story, I will gladly give it to y'all. But I've been tossing and turning since literally 1 a.m., so here y'all go. Okay, bye.
I really don't know how to say this. My friends told me not to talk about it, but like, it's kind of hard to not talk about it when it has affected my life so heavily the last couple of months. For the last 2 to 3 months, I have been heavily stalked, and whoever it is wants me real bad. This person keeps making fake accounts, and y'all have seen it like firsthand, like all the comments. I have no idea who it is. No idea. Can you just give me a minute? What I could have done to make somebody hate me to that level. I'm not perfect, but I'm a fairly sweet girl. Anyways, I'm sure that y'all have seen this account leave like comments like saying like, you and the kids are mine, you and those babies are mine. Off the wall fucking shit. It's not just in the comments that they do it. I have like literally for the last 2 to 3 months blocked these accounts, deleted comments, but it's not just in the comments that they have been doing this in, they have also been in my messages heavily. I've been deleting all the messages, blocking the accounts, deleting the messages, blocking the accounts. But like in these DMs that they were sending me, they're like, what if I held you down and you couldn't say no? What if I take your children's mother away from them? Like off the wall scary shit. I'm not even gonna repeat all the things that they have said to me, but I do know that they are local. They know things about me that I do not post on here, on TikTok, on social media, like public social media. They know my address. They have been changing my TV. Like, it sounds like so strange, but my TV channels have been changing like non-stop. Even at like 3 a.m. a couple of days ago, I was laying in my bed with my babies and the TV turned on like by itself and started flipping through the channels, clicked on YouTube, scrolled down and like clicked on a video. Doorbell ringing. A couple weeks ago, I was on FaceTime with one of my friends and my doorknob started rattling at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I thought it was just empty threats and that they were just fucking with me. Like, whoever it is just is fucking with me, but the threats have gotten a whole lot worse, a lot more extreme. And last night, my parents' house was raided. My chest hurts so bad. It's like literally like pounding. This person has been picking up pace in like his actions, and he has been picking them up very quickly, which is scaring me and alarming me more because now what I thought was just like empty threats. Them commenting and saying that y'all need to call CPS and have my kids taken away and things like that. Like, but last night my dad called my mom. We were Christmas shopping and he said, "What's your name?" And my mom said, "Robert, you know my name. Like, what do you mean? Like, why are you asking my name?" He said, "Kayla, I'm sitting here with the sheriff. Please tell me your name." And my mom responded back with her name, and they went, like, through this, like, whole, like, questionnaire. Turns out that this person had somehow spoofed their location to my mom and dad's house, where they repeatedly called 911, gasping for air. And the cops showed up, a sheriff and about 8 cops showed up to my mom and dad's house, along with an ambulance and a fire truck ready to save somebody that was in danger. And it was spoofed. It was a spoofed phone call. They looked around, obviously, because nobody was there, nobody was hurt, nobody was injured, but still. My dad said, you know, who called you? What number called you? Because, like, he was trying to figure it out, too. Like, if somebody was, like, hurt on, like, the property, because they have, like, a pretty big, you know, piece of land, he wanted to find out who it was who. And make sure that, like, my little sisters didn't, like, you know, fake dial or anything like that, even though they were sleeping. And the police officer said that Whoever called off of a device. There was no phone number. It was showing that it came off of a laptop or a tablet, something like that, like a device. No number attached to it. So whoever it is very fucking smart. But I am telling you now, nothing in me will ever allow anybody to hurt my babies. You have awoken something inside of me that I didn't even know that I had. And I know that this is just the beginning. Trust and believe that if anything happens to me, there's quite a few motherfuckers that will burn this entire city to find you. And my memory is never going away from those babies. You've expressed multiple times that you just want me, and trust and believe that I'm not leaving those babies without a fight. This is only the beginning.
Point of
You've got the
information.
floor.
Do I have the floor? Do I?
Yes,
Do I?
you do. You have the floor.
My name is Maddie, and I'm a soon-to-be teen mom. I recently found out that I was pregnant. I'm 17. I live at home with my parents. I graduated high school about a year ago, so early. My boyfriend is still in school. So we're doing our best to figure this out as much as we can right now. It's still early. I'm about 5 weeks, 5 days. I have quite a few symptoms so far of pregnancy, so I'll get into those. My first immediate symptom was my boobs hurting. I didn't take a test until my period was 9 days late because I work a lot. I didn't even realize my period was late, to be honest. But my boobs were killing me, and that was always like a telltale sign I was about to get my period, so I really didn't think too much into it until they were like keeping me up at night. And I don't usually wear like regular bras. I actually freaking hate them so much. You'll never catch me in a regular bra. I'll wear like a tight tank top or like a lounge bra, but never like a padded wired bra. I fucking hate them. So I never wear them anyways, but I think if I was wearing them, I think I would have to go up like 2 cup sizes. Like, my boobs have grown tremendously within the past like 2 weeks. So I'm complaining, my boyfriend's not. Next is just being so beyond hungry. Don't let anybody tell you that you should only gain, I've read so many articles already about you should only gain, 10 to 15 pounds in your pregnancy, or 10 to 20. Girl, I've already gained that, okay? I'm not saying I was petite before, but I definitely wasn't this big already. I think I've already gained about 7 pounds. Just because I can't stop eating. I'm like hungry every single hour. And if I'm hungry, that means the baby's hungry. So you best believe I'm eating. Third is I'm just so beyond tired. Like, I have no motivation to go and do anything. I have no motivation to like hang out with friends. Not that I really have any. Me and my boyfriend kind of stick to ourselves. I have, my best friend, but we've kind of drifted just because we're living 2 different lives now. She's very still partying, hoeing, just having fun, living your teenage life. And before I even knew I was pregnant, I started distancing myself from that because I was getting so tired. I was so tired and just exhausted and no energy for that. Probably the biggest one of all these symptoms is just crying over everything. I don't think I've ever been this emotional in my life, and I'm a very emotional girl. Like, I don't really cry over everything, but I have really, really intense feelings on absolutely everything. And so now that I'm pregnant, it's intensified by like 10 times. And the other day I caught myself crying over a half-eaten muffin. So, crying over everything all the time, literally could be anything. That, and then just having absolutely no patience. I'm just aggravated over everything. Like, every little thing pisses me off, and every little noise. And when I'm driving, if someone is driving too slow, I have to literally calm myself down so I don't get road rage and run them off the road, for the safety of me, the baby, and them. But it's really hard, actually, getting so mad over everything. Financially, this is really gonna be hard. My boyfriend, still in school, doesn't have a job, is going to drop out in 3 months after basketball season's over so he can get a job and start working full time. He has money set aside that is worth more than the amount he would make working in 3 months anyways, so I'm not worried about it. He also can't touch that money till he's 18, which isn't until July, and my due date is actually before he even turns 18. So I'm 5 months older than him. So I will be 18 before him. I'll be 18 by the time we have the baby. Hopefully, I'm really hoping that we can afford an apartment by then. We're looking at apartments around where he lives that are for low income, and some of them come with like a prepaid like electricity bill or water bill, and so that would be really helpful. Because of our finances, I think we'll probably get onto some government funded resources like food stamps, EBT. I don't know. I've never been on any of those, so I need to look them up and do some more research. But if you guys have any tips on finances or just pregnancy at all, please let me know, because girl, I'm lost, but I'm doing my best. Every day I'm reading books, listening to podcasts, watching videos, everything that I can. My older sister recently had a baby. She's gonna be 1 in February, and so she's really helping me out. I did start on prenatals. My first prenatal exam is December 8th, so I've got that to look forward to. And my mom, she's had 3 kids, so she's helping me out the best she can too. So it's a team effort from friends, family, and whoever I reach out to, which right now is you guys, and I just really am hoping there's some good tips and tricks you've got for me.
Are you new here?
Yeah.
You guys, I don't even know what's happening right now. So I was just at Casey's in our local town, and this nasty man, old man, come in there wearing a side piece, pistol on his side, with a little girl, maybe 14 or 15, that absolutely does not belong. He's like rubbing on her and all nasty, and she's wearing a damn collar, a leather flipping collar. Something is not right here. So I am actually on the road following them right now. Okay, so I've talked to the local cops, and I just got off the phone with the state patrol. So they have the car, they have the license plate number, and just, he's like rubbing all over her while we're waiting in line to pay. Nasty. And he went to get her, told her to grab a drink or whatever, and she's like, thank you, sir, thank you, sir. She's a beautiful little, I don't know, 14, 15-year-old African-American, really long, beautiful hair. Okay, sorry you guys, that was the state patrol that I got off the phone with. I'm still following these people. They say they have, oh, here comes state patrol. Here comes 2 of them. Here comes 2 of them. No. Come back. Okay, they're turning around. They're coming my way. This little girl, something's not right. She has a leash around her neck, and he's pawing on her and nasty, and something's not right, you guys. Please pray for this little girl. Please pray. Please pray. Okay, so there's 2 state patrol coming in up behind me. They know I'm following. I'm gonna get back a little bit. Here they come. I'm getting back a little bit. Okay, you guys. They got him. See all the cops? See all them? See him over there? They've got him out of the car. He is in handcuffs. I think, you guys, I hope this little girl is safe. I hope that they're calling somebody's mama and saying, hey, we've got your little girl. What a crazy day it has been. I'm shaking. They came in hot. They got him pulled over. I followed him. I went to Casey's. It's like a 10-minute trip, and something wasn't right. Don't just let it go. If something is not sitting right with you, that is God telling you something's wrong. You make those calls. I'm probably 35 minutes from my house now, but I was not going to let this guy get out of my way. But he is in cuffs, praying that this little girl gets that freaking big ass leash off of her neck, and she's going to go home. She's going to go home to her family. So be praying for this whole situation, you guys. I pray that this little girl goes home. Say something when you see it. Say something. Don't just mind your own and go on. Say something. God bless. Okay, you guys, I just pulled back into town. I'm going to the police department to see if they can tell me anything. I'm sick to my stomach, so I just need to know if she's okay. I did what I needed to do, and God's got the rest. So I'll let you know once I come back out of here. Okay, guys, I just got home. So I went to the police department, and of course, they gave me a number to call because the arrest would have taken place in the next county. So I called up there, and all they could really tell me was that she was okay. And that's fine with me because I wouldn't be able to rest without those words. I just needed to hear those words. God can do the rest. The rest of it is in his hands. So just, what a crazy day. If you see something, say something. Something was not right there, and baby Jesus lit a fire in my ass, and I got behind them and I followed them 40 minutes from my house because that whole situation needed to be handled. But they're telling me that she's going to be okay. So yes. So praise Jesus. Please be praying for her, that entire situation. God bless.